It's all right, mate. Don't worry. It's just a joke. But it is relevant.
Yeah.
God, what's going on?
You don't want to know,
knows,
Sam. You
Sam?
really. But thank you for joining us.
No problem. I just realised I'm wearing an orange T-shirt by chance today, which I think is pertinent.
Oh, pumpkin boy.
Yeah,
Right.
that works well,
10
doesn't
o'clock. Are we live? I think we're live. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. People crawl for fossils' blood to pollute your neighbourhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside corpses from shell. The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of over 100 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the EV Café. It's funner!
Morning Friday, 10 o'clock. The wind howls and the shadows talk. Tune in now, don't you delay. Spook time's here to make your day. It's spook time, spook time. The EV Cafe news on the line. Ghosts and ghouls, they sip their brew. Here to share the latest
Wow.
Oh my. Thank you so much to Joe Bamber, our producer, for putting that together. And welcome to the EV Cafe Booze. 30 minutes of what's terrifying in sustainable transport with expert analysis from the EV Cafe ghouls, supported by Draxcula electric vehicles. Now then, today's opinions on a stick, and my lord, we will have them, is the wonderful Paul Kirby. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. That was quite amusing, I have to say. But yes, all very good here over in Kirby Towers, and yes, we'll be having a quiet night in.
Oh, lovely. And Sam, the pumpkin, how are you doing, dear?
Yes, that was by accident, but it seems to work. Yeah, well done, producer Joe, on that video. Do we not need one of those every week? Like, there's got to be. It's too good. It's just too good.
How good. Right, well, let's crack on, shall we? Grab a cuppa of something bodily and plug into the mains for what's happening in clean transport this week. And coming up, delayed action on climate change is costing millions of lives every year. A reminder of why we all care and why it's so scary. The AA say that the used EV market is in need of a boost. The world's first electric car without metals or minerals is launched, and it doesn't work. We even have a cheeky video of it. And finally, your Waymo ride is arriving, but is London ready for driverless cars? But first, the EV Cafe commercial trap, where we highlight innovation and new things in our basement.
The commercial trap from the EV Cafe.
Innovation applauded.
It's back! It's back by
It's
popular
back.
demand. Well done, Joe, again. Right, the government has unveiled new plans designed to make it easier for drivers without off-street parking to charge their electric vehicle. It will launch a consultation on removing planning permission currently needed for those without driveways to install cross-pavement charging gullies, and wants to mandate charge points in new covered car parks. Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander said, "Wherever you park your car, we're making it fairer, easier and cheaper to make the switch to electric." Commercial clap indeed. And Tesco has driven down emissions by launching 42 new Iveco S-Way natural gas trucks to its fleet in Livingston, Scotland. To help it reach its goal to be carbon neutral across its own operations by 2035, the trucks will transport food and goods across Scotland, Cumbria and Northumbria. That's kind of north of Watford, Sam. You know, you get a nosebleed up there. Servicing more than 250 stores, covering more than 200,000 kilometres a year, the trucks will save up to 6,473 tonnes of CO2 annually. Well done, Tesco and Iveco. Brilliant news. And a Kia electric van, the Kia PV5 Cargo, the company's first dedicated electric light commercial vehicle, has set a new world record, and Sam Clark was nowhere near it. Carrying its maximum payload, the electric van covered 430.8 miles on a single charge, a new world record. The drive took place on September the 30th under authentic, real-world conditions, where it was loaded to the gunnels on public roads north of Frankfurt, Germany. Fabulous. Don't tell me that electric vans can't do a job for you, and we'll have more on that, and Paul Kirby will doubtless have an opinion in just a while. Did you need to say something, Paul?
No, if
He
you're
always
going to
does.
say it in just a while, I'll keep my powder dry.
Golly. It is that day. It's 10:06 and Paul is keeping his powder dry. Right, that's the commercial clap. Let's get on with the news. The continued over-reliance on fossil fuels, coupled with delayed action on climate change, is costing millions of lives each year. The 2025 report of the Lancet Countdown on Health and Climate Change has found. The report states that the failure to address climate change sufficiently has led to a 23% increase in heat-related deaths since the 1990s, whilst in 2024 alone, air pollution from wildfire smoke alone was associated with 154,000 deaths, the highest level ever recorded. Air pollution from fossil fuels continues to cause around 2.5 million deaths each year globally, with governments doing little to abate its effects. In fact, governments spent an estimated, get this, $956 billion on fossil fuel subsidies in 2023 alone. Almost $1 trillion on subsidies for the fossil fuel industry. Some 15 countries, which together account for more than 90% of global carbon dioxide emissions, spent more on subsidies than on their national health budgets, according to the report. Let's go to Sam first. This is absolutely to the core of what we do and why we do it, Sam.
It is indeed, and what I'm smiling about is that I presented something similar on about 15 years ago now, and many times over, about the pollution in central London and the effect it was having on people, on lungs, and of course Elika Sedebra is the major example of that. Sadly, that is the first person to be the cause of death in terms of air pollution, and I think it's really important element this in terms of fleets and vehicles, because one thing I've been talking about in all those years is that we need to twin the cost savings of lower cost emissions, of no emissions, the cost savings to our health against the loss of fuel duty, for example. Those two things need to be intrinsically linked. And I've been barking on about this for 1.5 decades. So I'm delighted to see that it's becoming a more macro understanding of that challenge, so that it isn't just about losing fuel duty over here and saving money over there, but we need to twin these things together because they are intrinsically linked. And I think that's a really important message. So I'm glad to see this in the news, because I think it really helps with people's understanding of twinning those things together, and how one part of one industry and one part of the economy is materially affecting the other one.
And Paul, I think the difficulty is that we can sometimes be seen as pontificating a little, and maybe, climate change, and people get really bored with that. And our job is to take those statistics and turn them into business reality, so that people can continue to run a profitable business effectively and efficiently whilst doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think we do often miss this link between, smoking, for instance. We the tax was up and all that good stuff, and that's right and proper, and we see that as society moves away from something that is fundamentally unhealthy, there is a benefit to society. And I've typically led with this in conversation with people, because people, tree hugging is one thing, but this is material benefit for people in cities. Asthma sufferers everywhere will thank us for many years to come as their life is improved by the quality of the air that they're breathing. So I honestly think that we do have to articulate that positive story and genuine reason, not just the sort of ethereal climate change, but material change for people in towns and cities everywhere.
Absolutely. It's difficult because we walk a fine line, always. You know, we lead with our hearts, and sometimes, you know, the loss of life at that scale is phenomenal. The bit that really got me was the amount of subsidy that we continue to give to fuel companies to be able to produce something that we know is killing people. It's got to be wrong. Anyway, let's move on. It's time for the shout-outs, and Daryl Sharp, 7:16 this morning. Morning, everyone, from a wet Telford. Sat here waiting for the perfect team to brighten up my Friday. Listen, mate, we are many things. Perfect ain't even close. We are nowhere
Hey, he didn't
near
say
that.
us.
Well, no, maybe he was just talking about you. Who knows? Gary Comerford. Morning, all. Grey and overcast. Here, anybody know anything funner? You check out the first couple of minutes of our opening there, mate. Oh, yes, we're a little bit funner. James Screenwash King, he's here. Happy Halloween. Graham McLaren Harris is here. Morning. Happy month end. Hope it has been a good month end for everybody in the industry looking to make those sales. I've read that sales have been a bit slow in October and that September was good, but October, a bit of a challenge. We shall see when the official numbers come out. Stuart Humphrey, thank you so much for all you do. All the posts, the reposts, the nice comments, the things you say. You are an absolute superstar. And Freaky Friday, he's here for the fun. Wayne Dunn, what you done? Michael Barton, he's in Bristol. Hello, my friend. Now then, what else we got? Ross Morgan, trick or treat? You decide. So in the comments, I want to know, Sam, is he a trick or a treat? Paul, is he a trick or a treat? And do you even care? Mark Elliott from Lichfield, that's great, and he likes a trick. So what's your trick? What's your favourite Halloween trick that you would play on somebody? I think Paul's is just turning up, frankly. Teresa Swift, happy Halloween. Hope you're feeling well. Oh, he's here. It's the LinkedIn user. It's Peter Heath.
Peter Heath.
PLP. Nice teeth. Great stuff. Old Two Mugs, he's here. Ash Bannister. Sam is dying a little inside, which we love. Craig Stark. Good morning, Lloyd. Lloyd Allen, 6.5 out of 10. And he's grateful that the CAF is on. Do you know what? It just fills your heart with joy. Bless you, Lloyd. And thanks for being here. DEV Chakravarti. He's in the house. Craig Stark, Paul Shearer, Barnfather. Who else we got? Ron Godfrey.
Seeing Paul next week. We'll say hello on Monday at the I think it's BAMA conference. There we go.
Tracy Kearns. Doesn't look very live to me. Standard. Liz Allen, good morning. Hello. Belinda Guy, she's spooky. Lulu O'Hagan, oh, scary. Oh, Madame Le Bonbon, what are you saying? Laura Huswick, Welps from Power. Fabulous video. Fabulous video you did this week on social media. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it's Pam and I think it's Laura. Slightly different makeup, but it's difficult to tell. Pam's also here. Matt Cook, good to see you. And he loves it. So I think, Joe, you must take a bow today. Neil Hughes from Utility Line, great to have you here. And we've got some exciting news about you, my friend. Paul, let's stop there and do that. Utility Line joining us as a sponsor. Really good news.
I know, isn't it? So it's a real celebration from our point of view. We will be, of course, coming with the usual video in due course and announcing it formally next week. But Utility Line are a new silver partner, so we're going to be hearing from the podcasts. You'll be getting newsletters about them and lots of social posts throughout the year as they partner and we tell their story about how they can help us right from the drawing of the plans to the implementation of charging hubs and equipment and infrastructure in many different ways. But we'll get the full story over time. But big thanks to Neil Hughes and big thanks to John Fozzard for their faith in the EV Café.
Absolutely. Leo Pickford, congratulations on your first month electrifying vehicles. Good man. And Dev Chakravarti says it best when he says, an EV world record? I was scouring the photos looking for Sam. Weren't we all? Sam Grantham, great to see you again. Haven't seen you in a long time. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for making the effort. Rob Dustin, thank you for being here. Who else we got? Have I got the lot? Richard Parker, not the Richard Parker.
Richard
of
Parker's
Webfleet.
here.
Wow. Mike Seymour.
Mike
from
Seymour.
True Charge.
True
Oh,
Charge.
Now,
Another
you see more, Mike.
partners galore today.
I know. Tell us, Mike, what do you see more of? Do tell us. Richard Wells. Oh, yes, Drax Power Station. Yes, indeed. No, you've got you've got that. Oh, no, completely. No, we can sort that out. We'll pick that up afterwards. Thank you so much, though. Tony Clayton, hello. And I think that is the lot. 10,
Oh, thank God.
15. Shout out's done, Sam. You can take the cheese out your ears now.
Quick follow-up shout out to Tracy Kearns. Tracy, I will be back to you on your email about collaboration for National EV Week, because the guys in Wales are really going for it and doing some really good stuff. There's a conference on the 21st of November up in Wrexham, which I will be at, talking about commercial vehicles and vans. But Tracy, collaboration on National EV Week, definitely something we want to talk about.
So absolutely avoid Wrexham on the 21st of November if you value your sanity. Now then, let's move on. 10.16. The AA's September Recharge Report has highlighted the need to boost the used EV market to help the government reach its net zero targets. Recent research in the UK's first EV Readiness Index revealed that 90% of private sales in 2024 were used cars, which cannot benefit from the official EV grant scheme. Consumers who exclusively buy used cars have called for incentives to help them participate in the move to electric vehicles with either a similar grant, an interest-free loan, or removing VAT from the purchase price. Interest-free loans are available in Scotland, have been for years, for used vehicles, just saying. When comparing the upfront costs of buying a new or used EV, there is a significant advantage of purchasing a used EV with prices much closer in parity when set against their petrol comparators. Currently, a new electric car is said to be 27% more expensive on average than its combustion version, whilst a used electric car is 3% more expensive compared to used petrol models. So that suggests that businesses are taking the hit in terms of depreciation, making used EVs that bit better value. If there continues to be no intervention in the used market, the AA said it worries about the long-term health of the used car supply chain. Paul, we've been banging on about this as an opportunity for used EVs for a long time now.
Absolutely. So obviously my focus is the van side of it, and it is a tremendous value in the used van sector. I mean, even less than diesel at the moment, because for whatever reasons there's a lower volume of diesel product in the market. So electric vans are really good value, but electric cars also are really good value. And what we're seeing in the market is salary sacrifice schemes beginning to adopt these vehicles and push them out, because the other positive message about used EVs, of course, is that they are much less used than their diesel or petrol counterparts, because diesel and petrol, their engines are degrading all of the time. Yet we have evidence, companies like Avalou and BCA Mannheim all celebrating the fact that the batteries are not degrading anything like the expectation of the masses. It's going to be like our phones that are sort of 70, 60, 50% of what they were when they were first brought to the market. So incredible value, great total cost of ownership, and much better than their diesel and petrol counterparts at the same age.
And I found some research this week that suggested, Sam, that the Tesla Model Y and two Kias, the Kia e-Niro and I can't remember the other Kia that was quoted, were the top three in terms of retaining their state of health over a period of 3 years. There's no impact to rapid charging and the sort of miles that you drive. They are great value used.
Yeah, there was an article in BBC News about battery degradation I read just yesterday as well. I mean, it's really not a thing. The chances are the vehicle's going to get smashed up or broken before the batteries become an issue. There is a little bit of legacy with some of the original Nissan Leafs, etc., that might drag down the the reputation a touch because they're obviously first generation and they do have a greater level of degradation. But the reality is these vehicles are performing extremely well. And the likes of Tesla have a very, very gentle or a very conservative charging curve. So they're always protecting the batteries. So those really high peak charging elements that you see drop down quite quickly as they really do look after their batteries. And it's of no detriment really to anyone's traveling movements either. That it takes a little bit longer to charge and in a few minutes, but it's protecting the battery that little bit more. So yeah, as Paul said, the only time you should ever compare an electric vehicle to a mobile phone is by explicitly saying they are very, very different, because there are no comparisons to the two things, and therefore we've got to make sure that people understand that.
Yeah, the Kia Soul I saw last night on Facebook Marketplace, interestingly enough, £3,800. It had just over 40,000 miles on it. And you just think £3,800 for an EV that you can use perfectly well for the majority of journeys. We're doing 20 miles or less a day, most people on average. There's a car out there for you. You've just got to look. It's not difficult. Let's move on. So, Joe, I wonder if you could play our little video.
Remove all mined materials from the electric car. No lithium, no steel, no copper, no lead. And this is what's left. Sandvik introduces Inimon, the no-mine car, a car produced without mining. Discover how a future without mining isn't the future.
Now, isn't that thought-provoking? It really hit me when I saw that. If we don't mine, if we don't recycle all of the minerals and the precious resources that we put into our vehicles, we're doomed. We won't have cars, and we have to find better ways. And this e-Nimon thing is very much about the responsible and sustainable approach to mining. We have to accept that mining is part of what we do as a society. We take precious resources from the earth. However, how we do that is really, really key. And what this campaign does is it just says, stop and wait a minute. Everybody batters on about the fact that there are precious resources in our vehicles. But that's true of petrol, that's true of diesel, that's also true of EV. None of them would exist if we didn't mine. And so e-Nimon is this program which basically Sandvik have brought to our attention and just said, you know what, sustainable mining is the backbone of the green transition and fundamental to achieving global sustainability goals. There's an exhibition in Sweden, in Stockholm, which gives this visualization. You can actually see this vehicle live there, and it really does make you stop and think. I think, Sam, clear cars, I mean, you like a nice clean interior, but that's taking it a little far.
Yeah, it's a little bit minimalist for my taste, I suppose. I do like it for actually move. But no, it's a good point, isn't it? And I think I'd almost link this article in with the first one, John, about the education piece around air quality, right? Because again, these things are all linked, and the more that we educate people in terms of understanding, it's not just, you pointed out the things that we need for mining. Everything we're doing, everything around me, everything around you requires mining. Everything does, and we need oil to do an awful lot of stuff for many, many years to come as well, to make all this stuff so that we can actually exist. It's a case of understanding better, or all of us being educated better in how we actually deal with that challenge. And the car that hasn't mined anything principle is a really good one, just to illustrate what we need to do to change, so more of it, right? It's just education in subtle ways that help everybody understand it better.
Yeah, and Paul, Sam's absolutely right, and I'm going to try and get you to agree with him for once, that our job is very much to bring the facts to bear so that people can reach their own conclusions about the choices they make.
Absolutely. Informed choices, not misinformed choices. That's what we want. Paul Shearer Barnfather, very clever man. I'm looking forward to listening to him next week. But the best thing about EVs is we don't burn the mind stuff and chuck it out the back. And that's the point, right? He goes on to say we chuck out 0.5 ton of the stuff out of the back of the vehicle into the atmosphere. That's the difference with EVs. And what we're also seeing is, amazingly, that there is a huge truck it's a 100-ton truck, I think, that can carry like 40 odd tons of stuff up and down. And they're even talking about, and I've seen it somewhere, I'll have to get to the story, but perpetual motion, in that you bring the stuff down the hill full of energy, full of power, and then you recoup the energy, and then you go back up the hill. You know, and this sort of mining world is one where we can decarbonize incredibly, and it's very exciting. And I think that's the focus. We've got to decarbonize the process, and you know, minimize our impact on the earth where we can.
10:25, and I've got to bring you a little funny from Stuart Humphrey. My wife's a ghost, and I knew she was one the minute she walked through the door.
Very good.
Love that.
Which is good. Thank you for that, Stuart. Right, final story, 10:25. Waymo has announced plans to bring its fully autonomous ride-hailing service to London, promising a new era of safe, sustainable and accessible transport in one of the world's most complex cities. According to Waymo, the upcoming London launch marks an expansion of its Waymo One service, which already operates without human drivers in some US cities. The company claims its vehicles have completed millions of miles of autonomous driving with a strong safety record and consistent performance across varied environments. Waymo's co-chief executive Takedra Mawakana described London as a natural next step for the company's European ambitions. London's global significance, diverse transport landscape and a commitment to innovation make it the perfect place to demonstrate the benefits of fully autonomous driving. Now then, I've got a question. Can a city as intricate and unpredictable as London really accommodate driverless cars? It's easy where you've got grids and you can go in straight line. Easier. It's not easy, it's easier. But in London, oh my Lord, Sam, you've worked tirelessly along the streets of London, peddling your wares. What do you think?
I have quite literally peddled my wares, and spent a lot more time in London now than I have done in the last few years. And what worries me about this isn't their technology; it's not what they've produced. It's the cyclists that bother me, because I've been cycling all over London in the last few weeks, using the rental bikes, stopping at traffic lights, and doing things properly. And the number of people that completely disregard all laws and just pile through red lights and pedestrian crossings and everything else. My concern is that these cars are going to do what they're supposed to do and slam the anchors on every time a cyclist gets in front of the sensor, because people just don't treat the roads properly. So that's the bit that worries me about a city like London. I don't know how it fares against some of the American cities that might be a little bit more strict with their rules. So I think we've got to sort cyclists out first before we bring in autonomous vehicles, to be honest, and fine people for breaking the law. That would generate a significant amount of revenue for London.
And probably
Paul,
more than the congestion charge.
Yeah.
Is there any impact in terms of commercial vehicles, do you think, of Waymo coming here? Might it stimulate autonomous deliveries in a greater sense?
What I would love for to happen here is that we address the legislative challenges that are around autonomous vehicles. My feeling, there's already stretches of motorway in the UK that are permitted to. I don't know what the term is. It's not quite full autonomous driving, but there's a level of autonomous driving that you can do. That is really good news, and my expectation is that autonomy is more likely to impact and be effective within the commercial vehicle sector than it is in the car world, simply because there are a lot more A to B kind of things, and we're not interacting in the inner cities. And I think, it might be more challenging there, but the easier solution is on the longer, straighter roads and from point A to point B, or depot A to depot B, and that type of thing. So I think, and particularly with driver shortages and other things like that impacting the HGV and the van sector, I think there is a bigger opportunity there for somebody to crack that nut.
It's very interesting. A lot of cyclists commenting. We've got Lulu O'Hagan, Leo Pickford talking about cyclists and behaviour. And I guess my plea is that we all just find a little bit of kindness and a little bit of understanding and just slow down a little bit to give people time, give them space. Because a lot of the problems that are caused are because we're chasing our tails, rushing like idiots against really, really tough deadlines in the commercial space. And actually, as a society, we need to just be that little bit slower, kinder, and give people space to be.
Indeed.
Thank you
Indeed.
kindly. Now
Right.
then,
I have a quick shout out for another event. So we've shouted out the commercial vehicle event in Wales, also Transport and Energy. And the reason we're shouting them out, Transport and Energy Forum, is on the 21st. No, 20th. I'm sorry, not on the 21st. The Wrexham event's on the 21st, 20th of November, and Alec kindly funds public sector people to come along. So if you're in the public sector, there is just a small handful of spaces that are still available, and of course you can still get tickets for the event as a whole. So do check out the Transport and Energy website and hook up with those guys. It's going to be a good event. I'm going to be there courtesy of Motability Operations. Thank you to those guys. And there's going to be a lot of, the AA are there and many other partners, and there's an awards in the evening, which is always nice.
and don't forget National EV Week, 1st to the 5th of December. Hop on the bus. Lots of businesses already have. They're sponsoring particular sessions, webinars and so on. So if you want to be part of National EV Week, and it is a big collaboration where we're bringing together all of the media players that we have, as well as businesses, as well as fleets, to share knowledge, to help put pace and scale into the transition to EV. And if you have any clean transport PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from all of us. This has been an EV Cafe production with great support from Joe Bamba. Other sustainability news services are available, but this is just fun! The EV Cafe is truly blessed to be partnered with the AA Webfleet, Europe Car, Iveco, Utility Line EV Blocks, AW Energy, CPD Bodies and True Charge, with the EV Cafe supporting the transition to clean transport, complete with Drexcular electric vehicles. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend, wherever it takes you. Till next Friday, stay safe. Bye!
Ha ha ha.